Louis Pasteur was a curious boy who loved to explore the world around him. He was fascinated by the tiny creatures he saw under his microscope. One day, he noticed something strange in a glass of sour milk. "What are these tiny, wiggling things?" he wondered aloud. Louis decided to investigate further, spending hours in his laboratory. His friends thought he was a bit odd for being so obsessed with milk. "Louis, why don't you come outside and play?" they would ask. But Louis was too focused on his experiments to join them. He discovered that the tiny creatures were called bacteria. Louis realized that bacteria could be both helpful and harmful. This discovery made him excited and eager to learn more. "What if I could find a way to stop harmful bacteria?" he thought. Louis spent many sleepless nights working on his experiments. His lab was filled with strange smells and bubbling liquids. "You look like a mad scientist, Louis," his friends teased. But Louis didn't mind. He was determined to make a difference. He started to study diseases that affected animals and humans. Louis found that bacteria caused many of these diseases. He wondered if he could create a vaccine to protect people. "If only I could figure out how to stop these germs," he mused. Louis traveled to different places to learn more about diseases. He visited farms, factories, and even faraway countries. In one funny moment, he got chased by a curious cow on a farm. Louis laughed and thought, "Science can be quite an adventure." He kept experimenting and finally developed a method called pasteurization. Pasteurization helped kill harmful bacteria in food and drinks. This discovery made food safer for everyone to eat and drink. Louis was thrilled to see his work making a real impact. But he didn't stop there. He wanted to do more. Louis began working on vaccines to prevent deadly diseases. He created a vaccine for a terrible disease called anthrax. Farmers were amazed when their animals stopped getting sick. Louis became a hero in the farming community. He was invited to give speeches and share his discoveries. One day, a little girl asked him, "Can you cure my dog too?" Louis smiled and said, "I'll do my best." He started researching a disease called rabies. Rabies was a terrifying illness that affected both animals and people. Louis worked tirelessly to find a cure for rabies. He tested his vaccine on animals and saw positive results. But he knew he needed to be absolutely sure before using it on humans. One day, a boy named Joseph was bitten by a rabid dog. Joseph's mother was desperate and begged Louis for help. Louis knew this was a critical moment in his career. He decided to use his vaccine on Joseph, hoping it would work. Days passed and Joseph showed no signs of rabies. Louis was overjoyed. His vaccine had worked. News of Louis's success spread quickly around the world. People started calling him a miracle worker. Louis remained humble and credited science for the achievement. He continued to travel and share his knowledge with others. Louis became a tourist in his own right, visiting different countries. In one country, he was given a parade in his honor. Louis found it funny and a bit embarrassing to be celebrated this way. He preferred to stay in his lab, working quietly. But he appreciated the recognition and used it to promote science. Louis inspired many young scientists to follow in his footsteps. He encouraged them to be curious and never give up. "Science is full of surprises," he would say with a smile. Louis loved to share stories about his adventures in the lab. One of his favorite stories was about the time he nearly blew up his lab. He had mixed the wrong chemicals and created a huge explosion. "I learned the hard way to double-check my work," he joked. Louis believed that mistakes were an important part of learning. He often said, "Failure is just another step toward success." His positive attitude made him a beloved figure in the scientific community. Louis continued to make groundbreaking discoveries throughout his life. He never stopped being curious about the world around him. Louis's work helped save countless lives and improved public health. He became one of the most famous scientists in history. Louis was proud of his achievements but remained humble. He always gave credit to his team and fellow scientists. Louis's story became a source of inspiration for many generations. His legacy lived on through the lives he touched and the discoveries he made. Louis Pasteur showed the world that science could be fun and exciting. He proved that with hard work and determination, anything was possible. Louis never stopped exploring, learning, and sharing his knowledge. He believed that science was the key to a better future. Louis's adventures in the lab were filled with funny and interesting moments. He often found humor in the challenges he faced. Louis's positive outlook made him a joy to be around. He loved to travel and see new places, always eager to learn more. Louis's curiosity led him to discover new ways to help people. He was passionate about making the world a safer place. Louis's work took him to many different countries and cultures. He enjoyed meeting new people and sharing his love of science. Louis was always ready for a new adventure, whether in the lab or on the road. His story reminds us that science is a journey full of excitement and discovery. Louis Pasteur's life was a testament to the power of curiosity and perseverance. He showed that even the smallest observation could lead to great discoveries. Louis's work continues to inspire scientists and explorers today. His legacy lives on in the lives he saved and the knowledge he shared. Louis Pasteur proved that science could change the world for the better. His story is a reminder that with determination, anything is possible. Louis's life was full of funny, interesting, and motivational moments. He faced challenges with a smile and never gave up on his dreams. Louis Pasteur's journey was one of discovery, adventure, and inspiration. His work will always be remembered as a shining example of scientific achievement. Louis showed us that science is not just about facts but about making the world a better place. His legacy continues to inspire us to explore, learn, and make a difference in the world.